Oh, hey. Welcome to Senpai HQ. Okay, well, this itself isn't Senpai HQ. This is Senpai HQ. At least it will be. No, this is a spare bedroom above the garage. Temporary Senpai HQ until the basement is done. We'll get there. But you guys asked me some questions on Twitter. Let's jump into those. Is there anything you've done as a content creator you regret? Sure. There are always little mistakes, not anything big. Little mistakes you make along the way. You say something on Twitter, it comes out in a way that you didn't mean it to, and people interpret it wrong, and you're like, oh man, I wish I'd never said that. Sure, but I feel like for the most part, people, they make mistakes, and in the moment it sets them back in their career and they regret it. I've made a lot of those mistakes. I've invested tons of time and energy and money into things that just ended up never working. And in the moment you regret it, but I genuinely believe that the best way to learn is to fail. So like in the grand scheme of things, would I do it different? Oh, I feel like that's such a cliche, but no, I wouldn't. I would go and I would fail the 100 times that I failed before I succeeded, because I think I am more prepared than most people for this career. Explain your Twitter banner. What's there to explain? I wanted a picture that best represented my average daily life, and that seemed to sum it all up. This room's getting a little warm though, with the sun coming through the window. Let's move to a different one and show you guys a little bit more of the house anyway. Next one. You mentioned your other company, Senpai Tech, in your last video. What's that about? Yeah, Senpai Tech. I don't want to give away too much. I don't want to tell you the projects we're working on, but I majored in sound recording technology in college, hence the interest I have in stream beats and making music, but I minored in computer science. I have found so much fun in discovering intuitive solutions to software problems that happen as a streamer. And there's always been a part of me that instead of wanting to fix other people's software, I've wanted to make my own. So that's just what it is. It's a software development company. You will begin to see things emerge from said company relatively soon. And I hope you guys enjoy them. Also, kind of interesting, it's new territory for me. Not just in the fact that it's software development, but that every other company I've owned, I've started entirely by myself. This is the first one that I've started with two partners who, fairly enough, are way smarter than me in the field. So it's kind of fun. It's a new thing. You guys enjoying the tour? The home tour, by the way? This is the dining room and the living room. Welcome to my home. If Jesus can walk on water and babies are 70% water, can Jesus walk on babies? I believe any of us can walk on babies. It's just we probably shouldn't. I think we actually have company. This isn't gonna be a private space anymore. Come with me. Let's see how this looks. We don't have a bed frame yet, so we're living the nomad life. That's not what that means. Hey Harris, congrats on all the recent events and good news. How often do you feel like you take huge risks, or is everything pretty calculated? Can I try to explain this to you the way I see risk? I'm about to open up a shell that maybe you didn't want to see inside of. We're gonna try. The way I see risk, especially the word calculated risk, I don't think that makes any sense. Calculated risk is an oxymoron. You can make calculated decisions, but with every decision you make, some of that has the information available and some of it is risk. That risk portion is an area where you're jumping into the dark. If everything is calculated, there's no risk. If you're asked a math problem on an exam and it's 2 + 2 = what, writing down 4, there's no risk in that because the whole thing is calculated. Sam, can we draw out like a graph here, and like a portion of it is like information available, a portion of it is risk, right? There are two ways to mitigate this risk. One way is to do less risky things, right? Do things that have a lot of information available. Walk the path that's already been walked before, follow in someone's footsteps. The problem with that is you always hear the phrase, high risk, high reward. And that's true, by the way. If you're doing something that's been done multiple times and is proven, there's not gonna be a lot of reward because you're gonna be the last one to the piece of pie. Another way, however, is to do something with more risk, but take that information that's available and learn as much about it and calculate that information. You can't calculate the risk, that's risk, but you can calculate the information side and you can make that as powerful as possible. Beef up the side of the equation that has information. That makes that information 100 times more valuable than when it was just raw, and it really shrinks down the size of the risk, but it takes a lot of effort to do that. And so my principle for risk management has always been, don't risk what you're not willing to lose. And for some people very early on, there's not a lot there to work with. For me, when I started this channel and worked for years on it with no pay, I didn't have any money to risk. So I risked my time, I risked my sleep, I risked my social life, I risked my mental health a little bit at some points. And after all that work was put into it and I started seeing some success, I started making some money, I ended up having a little bit more headroom and a little bit more to work with and a little bit more potential to risk. And so I was able to risk a little bit more. And I would say that second risk was probably hiring Sam. I paid Sam more than the channel was making, but I was also making good money on Twitch and I was able to pull from that. So you can see as my headroom grows, I'm able to take more risk. And as that succeeded, I was granted a little bit more headroom. Therefore, I was able to take a little bit larger risk, and so on and so on. But the thing is, as I've been taking larger and larger risks over the years, starting multiple companies, starting things like StreamBeats, the amount of risk has actually gone down because I've risked a smaller portion of my headroom. So over the last couple of years, I've managed to do riskier things while actually having less risk by doing three things. Number one is increasing your headroom, and you do that by working your butt off on the previous risk and making sure it succeeds. Two is I've surrounded myself with people much more talented and smarter than myself. And number three is learn as much as I can about everything that I dive into. I don't take risks on things that I don't understand. That's why I've never purchased any crypto, because I have no idea how crypto works and I just don't have the time to learn it right now. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. Let's move one more time.
I thought you were upstairs. I was actually freaking out.
Because you thought I was a stranger
I thought you were
talking to the camera in my bedroom?
And I thought you were up there, and I was like, what is happening?
I'm a scary person. Finish up in here. This is actually the first piece of furniture we got in this place. It came in like the morning of the move. It was Kenzie's childhood piano. So we're pretty pumped about it. Don't want to scratch the floor. All right, this room's very echoey. It's a big room, very little furniture. We've got two more. When are you rebranding the Alpha Gaming channel? Actually, I believe on this video, we used our brand new Alpha Gaming animation, I think. So now that we've moved into the new place, we're actually gonna start moving stuff over to Senpai Gaming. We've already rebranded the entire LLC over to Senpai Gaming instead of Alpha, but we will be officially renaming the YouTube channel when we finish Senpai HQ downstairs and start filming stuff in the space that we're building this house for. And last one, and this is a really good one. Why does it seem common for DMCA safe music to be more ambient in nature versus music you can dance and sing along to? Yeah, so why is most DMCA free background music lo-fi instead of EDM or anything? There's a good reason for that. Two reasons that actually kind of combine to make a pretty powerful argument. One is that most people want to listen to lo-fi. If I were to look at my Spotify stats right now, StreamBeats Lo-Fi is the most popular playlist that we have, and it gets about 2 million streams a week. EDM is the second most popular, and it gets less than a quarter of that. Lo-fi music doesn't only apply to live streams and gaming and stuff and background music for a broadcast, but it also applies to long drives, doing homework, relaxing, hanging out with friends. It's not distracting at all. So it has so much more use to it. But two, it's also way cheaper and easier to make. So if I were a brand new business and I had to pick between creating some lo-fi tracks or a completely different genre that is way more expensive to make and way fewer people are gonna listen to it, which one makes the most sense? That's why we started with lo-fi. Luckily, StreamBeats has the opportunity to be a little bit different than that and expand more because, well, one, it does really well. And so we're given a little bit more headroom to branch out and go into some of these maybe less profitable areas. But two, the goal of StreamBeats is to be good enough that any streamer will find what they want in there. And that means some of the more niche styles of music. This is why we've done 2 releases a month since the beginning of 2021. I think today is the day we did release number 10 for the year. And each release has like at least 1 or 2 albums on them. So we've released a stupid amount of music this year, and very little of it is lo-fi. So if you're not using StreamBeats yet, link in the description below. Copyright-free music for your YouTube videos and live streams. It's totally free. It's on Spotify. It's everywhere you listen to music. And who knows? I mean, we got a couple big plays that we're hanging on to. I think we could get there in the next couple of years. It's gonna take a lot of work. It's hard to make something this big, but we're doing it. How's the echo in this room, by the way? I don't know what it sounds like on the microphone. It sounds terrible to me. So I hope this didn't make you leave, but I also hope this was very interesting. And if this sparked a question that maybe I didn't answer, jump into my live stream. I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. Link in the description below. I stream on YouTube now. So go subscribe to the Harris Heller YouTube channel. I'll see you there. Also make sure to hit the like button on this video to help us out. And as always, happy streaming.